Why farmers are choosing watercock over chickens and pigs. Part 1. Dramatic opening. Imagine this. A neglected piece of land. Overgrown with weeds. Forgotten by its owner. For years, it produced nothing. Just an empty patch of mud at the edge of a pond. Yet today, on that very same plot, a farmer is earning hundreds of millions of dong every single year. This isn't a fairy tale. It's the real-life story of Mr. Hung, a struggling farmer on the outskirts of Hanoi. Once buried in debt from pigs and chickens, he nearly abandoned farming altogether. Then he stumbled upon something unexpected, a bird that most people barely notice. A bird whose cry echoes across the countryside every summer afternoon. The Cuốc, known internationally as the Watercock or Greater Cuốc. At first, even Hung himself couldn't believe it. Raise Cuốc? Weren't they wild birds? How could they possibly be domesticated, let alone turned into a profitable business? Neighbors laughed at him. Some said he was crazy. Others warned him he'd fail. But Hung had nothing left to lose, and everything to gain. He built a simple pen by the pond, caught a few pairs of Cuốc, and began experimenting. The results shocked everyone, including himself. Within months, the birds adapted. They stayed in the pen, fed on simple farm scraps, and grew quickly. Unlike pigs, they didn't need expensive feed. Unlike chickens, they weren't wiped out by disease. And unlike ducks, their meat sold for a premium, because it was rare, flavorful, and in high demand at restaurants. Soon, his small flock grew, then it multiplied. Within just a few years, Hung's life had transformed. The man who once couldn't pay off his debts now built a spacious home, sent his children to good schools, and became a model for farmers across the region. And Hung isn't alone. All across Vietnam, other farmers like Ms. Lan in Dong Nai and Mr. Tuan in Nguyen are proving that Cuốc farming isn't just possible, it's profitable, sustainable, and life-changing. From forgotten corners of land, they are creating thriving businesses. From abandoned ponds, they are building futures of stability and independence. So what makes this bird so special? Why are farmers calling it the hidden gold mine of modern agriculture? And how can you, too, turn a patch of unused land into a steady source of income? That's exactly what this video will reveal. From the origins and habits of the Cuốc, to step-by-step guides on housing, feeding, breeding, disease prevention, and marketing, we'll cover it all. And by the end, you'll see why this little-known bird might just be the most powerful opportunity in farming today. Because sometimes, the key to prosperity isn't found in raising more of the same old animals. Sometimes, it's found in daring to raise something different. Part 2. Discovering the secrets of the Cuốc bird. The Cuốc is no ordinary bird. For generations, farmers have heard its haunting cry drifting over the rice paddies each summer evening, a sound so familiar that it often blends into the background of rural life. Children grew up chasing it through the fields. Villagers spotted it darting between ponds. Yet few ever considered it could be more than a fleeting part of the landscape. But hidden within this bird's habits and biology are the very reasons why it's fast becoming a symbol of prosperity for daring farmers. A bird of the wetlands. Cuốc are naturally found around ponds, marshes, and rice fields. They are water-loving birds, happiest when they can paddle, forage, and rest in shaded areas. Unlike migratory birds, Cuốc prefer to stay close to their habitat. That simple fact makes them surprisingly easy to manage once they're introduced to a semi-domesticated environment. They don't require elaborate infrastructure, just water to swim in, land to rest on, and shelter to protect them from predators. With these basics met, they thrive. Chicken leg meat that sells like gold. The real secret of the Cuốc lies in its meat. Rich in protein, dark, firm, and uniquely flavorful, it's considered a delicacy. Chefs describe it as tastier than chicken, more refined than duck, and unlike anything else available in the market. Because it's rare and hard to source, restaurants are willing to pay premium prices. A mature Cuốc can fetch 2 to 3 times the price of a chicken of the same weight. For farmers, that means a consistent, lucrative demand waiting to be tapped. Biceps built-in resistance. Another advantage is the Cuók's natural resilience. These birds possess strong immunity compared to traditional poultry. while chickens and ducks are vulnerable to outbreaks that can wipe out entire flocks overnight. Cuốc rarely fall ill when given clean water and balanced food. This resilience translates to peace of mind for farmers, fewer losses, lower medical costs, and a much safer investment. Bird not on the banned list. One of the most common questions new farmers ask is it legal to raise cuốc? The answer is yes. Cuốc are not on the list of protected or prohibited species, as long as they're bred in captivity and not captured from the wild. Raising them is completely legal. This clarity has given countless farmers the confidence to invest without fear of fines or restrictions. Upward trend: a rising market gap. Demand is outpacing supply at a rapid rate. As more people look for unique, high-value food, restaurants and specialty buyers are scrambling to secure a steady stream of cuốc. The problem? Too few farmers are supplying them. This imbalance creates a golden opportunity. Early adopters who step into cuốc farming now are like pioneers entering a gold rush, claiming their stake before the market becomes crowded. Glowing star: from overlooked to overachiever. For decades, cuốc were overlooked, seen as background characters in the countryside. Their true potential was ignored. But today, forward-thinking farmers are rewriting the script. What was once just a wild bird is now a profitable, resilient, and sustainable livestock model. And perhaps the most powerful part of this story? It proves that prosperity doesn't always come from following the crowd. Sometimes, it comes from looking at something ordinary with new eyes, and daring to believe it could be extraordinary. Part 3: The Breakthrough Housing Model. If you want to raise cuốc successfully, you don't need high-tech barns, costly cement buildings, or complicated machinery. In fact, the genius of cuốc farming lies in its simplicity. With the right housing model, you can keep costs low, labor minimal, and profits high. Home: the golden principle. Water plus land. The cuốc is a water-loving bird. To be healthy and productive, it needs both a pond to swim in and dry land to rest, nest, and feed. This dual environment mimics its natural habitat and keeps the birds stress-free. Water area: just 50 to 100 square meters is enough for dozens of birds. Dry land: 20 to 30 square meters for shelter, feeding, and nesting. Shade and cover: add trees or simple thatched roofing for protection. This combination, water to exercise and forage, land to feed and lay eggs, is the secret formula for rapid growth and high reproduction. Wood building with local materials. Forget expensive construction. Farmers across Vietnam are proving that cuốc housing can be built almost entirely from local, recycled, or natural materials. Bamboo poles for fencing, mesh netting to prevent predators, reused wood and corrugated sheets for roofing, straw and grass for nesting. The cost? Often just a few $100s, or less. The return? A setup that lasts for years and produces birds worth many times the initial investment. Closed lock: safety first. While cuốc rarely fly away, it's still wise to build fences 1.5 to 2 meters high to protect them from predators. Dogs, snakes, or wild animals can cause losses if left unchecked. A simple bamboo or mesh enclosure is usually enough to keep your investment safe. Adding floating plants like water hyacinth or morning glory in the pond not only gives shade and natural feed but also reduces stress, boosting both growth and egg production. Open book real-life example: Mr. Tuan's pond. Mr. Tuan in Nha Trang had a small, underused fish pond. Instead of raising only fish, he partitioned part of it with bamboo fencing, built a modest hut from scrap wood, and released a few dozen cuốc. His total setup cost was less than $400. Within a year, his flock had grown to over 300 birds. Local restaurants lined up to buy from him weekly, and his profits from cuốc tripled what he once made from fish alone. Brain: the 3 No's principle. Successful cuốc farmers often repeat this rule of thumb. Crossmark: no big costs, build smart. Not expensive. Crossmark: no complexity, keep systems natural and easy to manage. Crossmark: no waste, turn every byproduct into value. From droppings that fertilize ponds to leftover feed that enriches fish culture. Glowing star: the takeaway. The right housing model is more than just a structure. It's a strategy. It balances the bird's natural instincts with the farmer's resources. Done correctly, it creates an environment where quack thrive, disease rates fall, growth accelerates, and profits soar. So if you've ever thought you needed vast land or high capital to start a new farm, think again. Sometimes, all it takes is an unused pond, a bit of bamboo, and the courage to try. From there, your small corner of land can become a thriving gold mine. Part 4: Secrets of Brooding and Breeding Selection. Every successful farm begins with one crucial decision: choosing the right stock. You can build the best pen, feed the best food, and keep the cleanest water. But if your birds come from weak or mixed bloodlines, your farm will never reach its full potential. For quack farming, this truth is magnified. Strong, healthy breeding birds are the foundation of sustainable success. Hatching chick: the brooding stage, fragile but vital. When quack chicks first hatch, they are incredibly delicate. The first 2 to 3 weeks are the most dangerous, where even small mistakes can wipe out a large portion of your flock. This stage is where beginners often stumble. The key? Warmth and cleanliness. Maintain a steady temperature of 82 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, using heat lamps or simple bulbs. Keep bedding dry with rice husks or straw, changing it regularly. Protect chicks from drafts and sudden weather shifts. As for diet, chicks thrive on crushed rice, boiled egg yolk, tiny grains, and finely chopped greens. Some farmers add a little ground snail or worm protein to boost immunity. Done right, survival rates can reach 95 to 100%. Bird spotting: strong breeding birds. Once the chicks grow, it's time to separate future breeders from those destined for meat. How do you tell the difference? Males: taller, with stronger legs, longer necks, louder and sharper calls. Females: shorter, rounder in the belly, quieter in temperament, with softer calls. Overall health: glossy feathers, upright stance, and alert behavior are signs of strong stock. Farmers with experience know the golden ratio: 1 male for every 3 females. This balance ensures peace in the flock, reduces fighting, and maximizes fertility. Brain avoiding: the cheap shortcut. Many beginners fall for the trap of buying chicks from unreliable sellers at the market because they're cheaper. But as countless farmers will tell you, cheap chicks cost the most in the end. Weak birds often die early, grow poorly, or lay fewer eggs. By contrast, starting with proven breeding pairs from reputable farms guarantees stronger offspring, faster growth, and a more profitable business. Open book: a lesson from Ms. Lan. Take Ms. Lan from Dong Nai. In her first attempt, she bought quack chicks from a street vendor to save money. Within a few weeks, half had died, the survivors were sickly, and egg production was dismal. Instead of quitting, she tried again, this time sourcing high-quality breeders from a trusted farm and redesigning her brooding setup. The difference was night and day. Within a year, she was supplying not just meat birds but also breeding stock to new farmers, multiplying her income streams. Her takeaway? Start with strong roots if you want a strong tree. Glowing star: the bottom line. Brooding and breeding are not the glamorous parts of farming, but they are the backbone of success. Choose healthy breeders, manage the chick stage with care, and maintain the golden male to female ratio. Do this, and you're not just raising birds, you're building a long-lasting enterprise that grows stronger with every generation. Part 5: The complete A to Z farming process. If you've chosen strong breeders and successfully raised your chicks, the next step is mastering the entire life cycle of the quack. Think of this as your farming roadmap, from fragile hatchlings to mature adults ready for sale or breeding. Follow it step by step, and you'll turn your small flock into a sustainable, profit-generating business. Hatching chick: stage 1. Chicks, 0 to 3 weeks. This is the most delicate period. Chicks are weak and vulnerable, but with proper care, survival rates can reach nearly 100%. Temperature: maintain 82 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 to 32 degrees Celsius. Sudden drops in warmth can kill chicks overnight. Flooring: line with straw or rice husks, keeping it dry. Replace often. Feed: crushed rice, boiled egg yolk, soft grains, and chopped greens. Water, always clean, refreshed daily. Baby chick stage 2. Juveniles, 1 to 3 months. At this stage, quack become more active and adventurous. They start exploring their surroundings, needing water and space to grow strong. Release them into shallow ponds daily. Feed them rice bran, grains, aquatic plants, and insects. Slowly reduce reliance on high-protein supplements as they adapt to natural diets. The beauty of this stage is cost efficiency. Much of their food can be sourced from your land, snails, weeds, and crop leftovers. Duck stage 3. Growers, 3 to 6 months. Now the birds are gaining size rapidly. They need more protein for muscle development and energy. Diet: corn, cassava, field insects, small fish, shrimp, and snails. Management: separate future breeders from those raised for meat. Health: continue mixing garlic or ginger into feed weekly for natural immunity. By the end of this stage, many quack are already market ready, with weight and flavor that restaurants love. Egg stage 4. Breeding adults, 6-8 months and beyond. At around 6 to 8 months, quack reach sexual maturity. This is where multiplication and real long-term profits begin. Nests: provide straw or dry grass nests in shaded corners. Feed: boost nutrition with protein, snails, worms, and calcium, crushed shells, to sustain laying. Fertility: with the right male to female ratio, egg production is steady, and chicks hatch year-round. Each egg is not just a bird, it's potential income. Sell as chicks, raise them for meat, or keep them as breeding stock. Seedling: the integrated model. The smartest farmers don't just raise quack. They combine quack with fish and plants to create a closed-loop ecosystem. Quack droppings fertilize pond water. Fish feed on the nutrients, growing faster. Aquatic plants like water spinach thrive, which can then feed the quack. This 3-in-1 model, birds, fish, and plants, turns one piece of land into multiple streams of income, all while reducing waste. Open book: the story of Mr. Wah. Mr. Wah from the Mekong Delta invested only $400. He bought 20 pairs of quack and built a bamboo mesh pen by his pond. 8 months later, he had sold over 100 meat birds for nearly $1.600, while keeping 30 hens for breeding. Within a year, his flock had multiplied into the hundreds. His secret wasn't high capital, it was following the process step by step. Using what he already had. Glowing star: the takeaway. The quack farming process isn't complicated. In fact, it's refreshingly simple, as long as you respect each stage: chick, juvenile, grower, breeder. You'll always know what to do, what to feed, and how to manage your flock. With this knowledge, your farm becomes predictable, sustainable, and profitable. Instead of gambling with risky livestock, you're following a proven formula, one that turns patience and consistency into long-term financial freedom. Part 6: Special techniques to double profits. Every farmer wants more than just survival, they want to thrive. And in quack farming, the difference between an average income and a breakthrough profit often comes down to the little techniques that smart farmers quietly use. These are the hidden gears that make the machine run smoother, faster, and far more profitably. Egg reading: the signs of egg laying. Female quack don't suddenly drop eggs without warning. They send signals, clear, predictable signs that only sharp-eyed farmers notice. Their bellies swell slightly and feel rounder. Feathers near the vent look ruffled. They become quieter, often isolating themselves to search for a nest. This is your window of opportunity. If you've already prepared nests, those eggs will be safe, clean, and fertile. If not, hens may lay in random spots where eggs break, rot, or get lost. Each missed egg is money slipping away. Fried shrimp feeding for year-round production. A common beginner mistake is feeding only rice and vegetables. That's fine for survival, but not for steady egg laying. To keep hens fertile all year, you need to enrich their diet with natural protein and minerals. Smart farmers add small fish, shrimp, or chopped snails, golden apple snails, abundant in rice paddies, earthworms, protein-rich and easy to farm. Crushed oyster shells or eggshells for calcium. This low-cost formula keeps hens strong, fertile, and productive, even in colder months when most birds slow down. Empty nest. The nesting trick. Nesting is another secret. Many beginners think fancy structures are required, but Cuốc prefers simplicity. The trick? Make nests from straw or dry grass, bundled into cozy circles, and place them in shaded, quiet corners. And here's the real hack. Always prepare more nests than hens. For 10 hens, make at least 15 nests. This gives them choice, reduces stress, and dramatically increases laying rates. Farmers using this method often see egg production double compared to cramped. Limited nesting setups. Feather fast growth. Lean meat. If you want to sell birds for meat, speed matters. The faster they reach sale weight, the faster your cash flow. 2 factors make the difference. 1. Daily swimming. Cuốc that swim regularly develop stronger muscles and lean, flavorful meat that restaurants love. 2. Clean water. A fresh pond with floating plants naturally filters water, boosts bird health, and supports faster growth. Diet plays its part. 2. Mixing garlic or ginger into feed a few times a week strengthens digestion and immunity, keeping birds healthy without expensive medicine. Light bulb. The multiplier effect. When you combine these techniques, the results are striking. More eggs, laid more often, higher fertility and stronger chicks, faster growth and heavier sale weights, lower costs thanks to natural feed and remedies. None of these require massive capital. They require attention, timing, and a willingness to learn from the bird itself. Glowing star. The bottom line. Average farmers raise Cuốc and make money. Great farmers raise Cuốc, apply these techniques, and build wealth. The difference lies not in how much you invest, but in how wisely you manage the details. Because in farming, as in life, success isn't just about hard work. It's about working smart. Part 7. What they eat. How you profit. If you've ever raised pigs, chickens, or ducks, you know the pain. Feed costs eat up most of your profit. The more you raise, the more you spend, and with prices of commercial feed constantly rising, many farmers feel trapped. But here's where Cuốc shine. These birds don't need expensive industrial feed. They thrive on what's already available, cheap, abundant, even free. In fact, they turn what most people consider waste into pure profit. Rice plant. A flexible, low-cost diet. Cuốc are not picky eaters. They happily consume broken rice, rice bran, and harvest leftovers, corn, cassava, and sweet potatoes. Greens like water spinach, morning glory, and swamp vegetables. Aquatic plants such as water hyacinth. Protein from snails, worms, shrimp, small fish, and insects. Think about it. While other farmers are spending fortunes on sacks of industrial feed, you're feeding Cuốc with what your land and environment already provide, often at no cost. Bar graph. Feed to profit ratio. Let's run some numbers. Say you raise 50 Cuốc over 6 months. If you rely mainly on natural and farm-sourced feed, your total cost might be only $120 to $160. By the end of that cycle, each bird sells for $12 to $16. With 50 birds, you earn $600 to $800. That's 4 to 5 times your feed cost in profit, within half a year. And that doesn't even include eggs or breeding stock, which can push your income even higher. Chicken. The big difference from chickens. Compare this to chickens or ducks. Feed costs are 40 to 50% higher. Selling prices are often lower or unstable. Outbreaks can wipe out entire flocks. Meanwhile, Cuốc are hardy, eat cheap, and fetch premium prices at restaurants. It's not just a small difference, it's a game changer. Light bulb. The power of waste to value. Farmers who succeed with Cuốc share the same mindset. Nothing goes to waste. Leftover vegetables from markets, perfect feed, snails collected from rice paddies, rich protein, crop byproducts like cassava peels, valuable nutrition. Instead of throwing these away, you recycle them into bird feed. The result? Cleaner farms, lower costs, and higher profits. Open book the story of Mr. Wa. Take Mr. Wa in the Mekong Delta. He used to complain about golden apple snails destroying his rice fields. But once he started raising Cuốc, those same snails became his secret weapon. Every day, he collected buckets of snails and tossed them into the pond. The Cuốc devoured them eagerly. His feed costs dropped to almost zero. And when harvest time came, he sold his birds at premium prices to specialty restaurants, laughing at the irony that pests had turned into profits. Glowing star the lesson. When it comes to Cuốc, the formula is simple. They eat what's cheapest and most available. You sell them for what's rare and expensive. That gap, the difference between low cost and high price, is where your wealth is created. So while other farmers stay chained to feed suppliers and unstable markets, you'll be free, feeding your flock with what nature already provides. And smiling every time you turn waste into gold. Part 8 Inspirational Success Stories. Numbers and facts can convince the mind, but it's real-life stories that move the heart. And when it comes to Cuốc farming, there's no shortage of inspiring tales from farmers who dared to try and reaped the rewards. Man farmer Mr. Hung, from debt to prosperity. We first met Mr. Hung in the opening of this story. Years ago, he was buried in debt after failed attempts with pigs and chickens. Every outbreak, every spike in feed costs pushed him deeper into despair. But when he turned to Cuốc, everything changed, starting with just a few pairs in a bamboo pen by his pond. He built his flock patiently. Within 3 years, he had not only cleared his debts but also built a spacious new home for his family. His neighbors, once skeptical, now come to him for advice. Hung's words still echo, "If I can turn my worst failure into success with Cuốc, anyone can." Woman farmer Ms. Lan, the young graduate who refused to give up. Ms. Lan from Dong Nai was not a traditional farmer. She was a young graduate who tried raising pigs with borrowed money. The result? A crushing failure that nearly ended her dream of entrepreneurship. Instead of quitting, she researched alternative models and discovered Cuốc. With determination, she converted her abandoned pig pens into Cuốc housing. The first year, she supplied local specialty restaurants with meat birds. By the second year, she had added a breeding program, selling chicks to other farmers. Today, her farm generates a 6-figure income, and she has become a mentor to other young people seeking to escape wage jobs. Her lesson: it's not about starting big, it's about starting smart. Fish Mr. Tuan, the dual system innovator. In Nguyen, Mr. Tuan had a small fish pond that barely supported his family. Instead of expanding into more costly fish farming, he tried something different, combining fish with Cuốc. He fenced off part of the pond, built a simple shelter, and introduced a flock of Cuốc. The results stunned him. Not only did the birds thrive, but their droppings fertilized the pond, boosting his fish growth. In 1 year, his income tripled, not from working harder, but from working smarter. His dual system became a model for farmers across the region. Family Man Woman Girl The Farmers Cooperative. In the Mekong Delta, a group of small farmers banded together. Alone, none could meet the growing demand from restaurants. But together, as a cooperative, they pooled resources, standardized breeding practices, and secured stable contracts with high-end buyers. What began as a handful of families raising Cuốc in their backyards became a thriving business that now supplies hotels and specialty markets. Their motto: one family grows Cuốc for survival. A community grows Cuốc for prosperity. Glowing star The Big Picture. These stories prove one powerful truth: Cuốc farming is not reserved for the wealthy, the educated, or the lucky. It's for anyone willing to take a chance, learn step by step, and trust the process. From debt-ridden farmers to ambitious graduates, from individuals to cooperatives, the Cuốc has been a catalyst for transformation. And maybe, just maybe, the next success story could be yours. Part 9 Natural Remedies and Disease Prevention. Every farmer knows the heartbreak, one outbreak, and months of hard work can vanish overnight. With chickens and ducks, diseases spread like wildfire, leaving devastation behind. That's why so many farmers are turning to Cuốc, not only because they're profitable, but because they're naturally resilient. But don't mistake resilience for invincibility. The truth is, smart prevention is worth far more than any cure. And the best part? You don't need expensive pharmaceuticals. Nature already provides the tools. Shield building immunity through feed. Farmers across Vietnam use a time-tested trick: garlic and ginger. These humble ingredients, added weekly to the diet, boost digestion, fight bacteria, and strengthen immunity. Garlic acts as a natural antibiotic, reducing infections. Ginger keeps the digestive system strong, especially in young birds. For pennies, you protect your flock far better than with costly medicine. Droplet clean water, clean health. Quokk spend much of their time in ponds. That makes water quality essential. Dirty or stagnant water invites parasites and sickness. The solution is simple: refresh ponds regularly with flowing water if possible. Add floating plants like water spinach or hyacinth. They filter naturally while providing shade and food. Avoid overcrowding, which quickly pollutes water. When water is clean, birds are happy, active, and disease-free. Herbal remedies for common issues. Instead of rushing to the pharmacy, quokk farmers often turn to traditional herbs. Turmeric powder mixed into feed improves liver health. Aloe vera juice aids digestion. Lemongrass in the environment deters pests and mosquitoes. These remedies are cheap, accessible, and safe, not just for the birds, but for the consumers who eat them. Magnifying glass early detection saves flocks. One secret of successful farmers: they watch their birds closely. Quokk will always tell you when something is wrong. Look for signs like drooping wings, loss of appetite, isolating from the flock, strange droppings. Catching these early means you can act immediately, separating the bird, cleaning the area, and applying simple remedies before the problem spreads. Open book: the story of Mr. Nam. Mr. Nam, a farmer from Long En, once nearly lost everything. A sudden rainy season brought dampness, and many of his birds grew weak. Instead of panicking, he applied what he had learned: garlic in feed, ginger water, and extra dry straw bedding. Within days, his flock bounced back. What could have been a disaster turned into just a reminder: prevention and natural care are more powerful than panic and chemicals. Glowing star: the big lesson. Raising quokk doesn't mean ignoring disease, it means outsmarting it. With clean water, natural remedies, and close observation, you'll keep your flock strong and thriving. While others spend fortunes on antibiotics and chemical feed, you'll rely on simple, natural solutions that are safer, cheaper, and just as effective. Because true wealth in farming isn't just measured in money, it's measured in peace of mind. And nothing gives peace like knowing your flock is healthy. Naturally. Part 10: Smart Harvesting and Selling Strategies. You've raised your quokk with care. They've grown strong, healthy, and ready for market. But here's the truth many farmers overlook: profit isn't made only in the pond, it's made at the point of sale. Harvesting and selling smartly can mean the difference between scraping by and doubling your income. Alarm clock timing is everything. Quokk typically reach market weight around 6 to 8 months. But not all birds should be harvested at the same time. Meat birds. The best window is when they weigh 1 to 1.5 kilogram. At this stage, the meat is tender, flavorful, and highly sought after by restaurants. Breeding stock. Healthy males and females with strong features should be kept or sold at a higher price as breeders. Egg production birds. Some females can be retained for consistent egg laying, creating additional income streams. Harvest too early, and you lose potential weight and profit. Harvest too late, and birds consume more feed while selling at the same price. Balance is key. Fork and knife with plate. Who buys quokk? Unlike chickens or ducks, quokk doesn't flood ordinary markets. Its uniqueness makes it a specialty product with premium demand. Your best buyers are high-end restaurants specializing in rare or exotic dishes, specialty food stores and delicacy shops, local families looking for traditional, health-boosting meals. These buyers aren't looking for cheap protein. They're looking for quality, rarity, and prestige, and they'll pay generously for it. Package selling smart. Savvy farmers use multiple selling strategies. 1. Live birds. Restaurants often prefer them alive to ensure freshness. 2. Dressed birds. Cleaned and prepared birds fetch higher prices at specialty markets. 3. Breeding pairs. Beginners will pay well for proven male-female pairs. 4. Eggs and chicks. For farmers entering the business, this is often the first step. By diversifying sales, you're not relying on a single income stream, you're multiplying your chances of profit. Light bulb. The branding advantage. Here's a secret: in farming, branding matters. Restaurants pay more when they trust the source. Farmers who brand themselves as clean, natural, and sustainable stand out in the market. Some farmers create simple flyers or even social media pages to showcase their flocks. Housing and natural feeding methods. Buyers love transparency. It reassures them they're paying for premium quality. Open book. The cooperative example. In the Mekong Delta, a group of Cuốc farmers formed a small cooperative. Instead of competing, they coordinated harvesting schedules, standardized quality, and approached restaurants together. The result? Stable contracts with consistent prices. Even during seasonal fluctuations, together, they were stronger and richer than they could ever be alone. Glowing star. The final harvest lesson. Raising Cuốc is about more than just farming, it's about strategy. Harvest at the right time. Sell to the right buyers. Diversify your income streams. Build a reputation for quality. Do this, and your profits won't just be good, they'll be exceptional. Because in farming, the bird in your hand is worth only as much as the market will pay. And with Cuốc, the market is hungry, ready, and willing to pay top dollar. Part 11. Conclusion and inspiration. As we reach the end of this journey, let's pause and reflect. What does the story of the Cuốc truly reveal? It shows us that farming success doesn't always come from doing more of the same. Sometimes, it comes from daring to do something different. Key 3 golden points. Money bag. Low capital. You don't need massive loans or sprawling land. With just a small investment, even unused ponds or empty corners of land can become profitable farms. Upward trend. High profit, thanks to low feed costs, natural disease resistance, and premium market prices. Cuốc bring margins that far outshine traditional livestock. Seedling. Easy expansion. Start small, then grow. From backyard flocks to family farms to full cooperatives, the model scales with your ambition. These 3 points are why farmers call the Cuốc farming model a life-changing opportunity. Family. Man, woman, girl. Real people, real change. We've met Mr. Hung, who turned debt into prosperity. We've met Ms. Lan, who transformed failure into success. We've met Mr. Tuan, who combined fish and Cuốc into a breakthrough model. And we've seen cooperatives proving that unity can create abundance. These aren't fairy tales. They're living proof that anyone, with courage and persistence, can change their future. Globe. From local farms to global potential. What starts as a small experiment in a village can grow into something far greater. Imagine families escaping the cycle of debt, communities gaining stability and independence. A product so unique and valuable that it finds markets not only in local restaurants but one day, perhaps, across borders. Cuốc farming is more than an income source. It's a path to empowerment, sustainability, and dignity for farmers everywhere. Light bulb. A sustainable revolution. In a world where industrial farming often destroys more than it builds, the Cuốc model is refreshingly different. It turns waste into value. It respects the bird's natural habitat. It reduces reliance on chemicals and expensive feed. It creates multiple income streams from one resource. This is what modern farming must look like, not just bigger, but smarter, cleaner, and kinder to nature and to people. Glowing star. Final inspiration. The cry of the Cuốc in the fields was once just background noise. Today, for farmers who dare to listen, it's the sound of opportunity. So ask yourself, will you let this chance pass by? Or will you take the first step? Because the truth is, the future belongs not to those who wait, but to those who act. And as every farmer who succeeded with Cuốc will tell you, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today. Part 12, Call to Action. If this video has sparked something inside you, if you felt that mix of hope, curiosity, and possibility, don't let it fade. Knowledge alone doesn't change lives. Action does. Rocket, take the first step. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start with what you have: an empty pond, a small corner of land, or even just a handful of birds. The farmers we've seen, Mr. Han, Ms. Lan, Mr. Tuan, didn't start big. They started brave. Seedlings start small, grow big. Maybe you begin with 10 birds. Maybe 20. It doesn't matter. What matters is the first step. Every chick that hatches, every egg you sell, every bird you raise brings you closer to financial freedom and stability. Remember, from tiny beginnings, mighty farms grow. Handshake, join the movement. This isn't just about one farm or one family. It's about a new wave of agriculture, one that's more sustainable, more profitable, and more empowering for everyday farmers. Here at the Farmers Alley, we believe in sharing knowledge that transforms lives. And we want you to be part of this journey. Well, how you can get involved. TV, subscribe to the Farmers Alley. Don't miss the next breakthrough model that could change your future. Thumbs up, like, and share this video. Help spread the word so more farmers can discover opportunities like this. Speech balloon, comment below. Share your story, your dreams, or your questions. Who knows? Your words may inspire another farmer to take their first step. Globe, stay connected. Follow us across social platforms to be part of a global family reshaping agriculture. Glowing star, final words. Don't let your ideas remain just dreams. Dreams are fragile unless you act on them. The Cuốc farming model proves that with courage, creativity, and persistence, even small beginnings can transform into extraordinary success. So from the Farmers Alley to you, don't wait. Start today. Because the future of farming won't be written by those who stand still. It will be written by those who take action, farmers like you.